Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Alex Thomas here, back with another video for you guys. Today, I'm bringing back my Game of Thrones seasons review. I'm starting up with season 3. I know it's been like a year since I've talked about Game of Thrones, and I reviewed season 1 and 2 last year because I was really getting into the show, and I'm like, man, I want to talk about this on the channel. Of course, I got comments on those videos like, why the hell are you talking about Game of Thrones? This thing is old news. Everyone is talked about it, blah blah. But I was obviously at the time I was new to the show, and I really wanted to talk about it because I wanted to get my thoughts, and I was very interested in the show. So right now I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on season 3 of Game of Thrones. I do have the Blu-ray sitting right here. I do love this box set, by the way. I love that it comes out with the slipcover. You see like the little dragon shadow. And yeah, I love this slipcover. I love this. I love the box sets for Game of Thrones. Of course, I do have the 4K set. Shout out to Jason Carr for sending me that as well. But yeah, I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on season 3 of Game of Thrones. If you guys are enjoying my videos, I know I've been putting out a lot of reviews because I've been trying to push out enough content on my channel as possible. But if you guys have been enjoying my reviews, please hit that like button. Please subscribe for more. And let's get into this review, guys. Let's get it. Let's go. All right, you guys, where should I start? Basically, the season starts off at the end of season 2. We had, the Battle of Blackwater. We had Tywin Lannister come in and basically, end the war when it comes to Stannis Baratheon coming into King's Landing to kind of, take the throne. The whole world has ended, but it also ended with some other stuff happening, like Jaime Lannister being captured. Arya meeting up with the Hound, I think, or something happened with Arya, but she ends up with the Hound in this season, but she gets split off as well with some other people that she was going to the wall with. Robb Stark is at this point, he's at the top of, not the top of the world, but he's done a lot of stuff. He's defeated a lot of things. He's won a lot of battles. He's really on top of the world, and he's also obviously he's King of the North. And a lot of stuff going on into this season. And so right off the back, I remember when I first watched this season felt pretty long. It really did feel pretty long. It was a lot of characters walking, like a lot of walking. When I mean a lot of walking, right off the bat, we got Jaime and Brienne of Tarth walking. We got Jon Snow walking with the wildlings. We have Daenerys walking with her group of people. We got Brand and Rickon and the wildling and Hodor walking, meeting up with some other people in the woods. It's a lot of walking, but there's also some interesting stuff going on while they're all walking. Like I said, I'm going to touch on some major things I wanted to get on, obviously, with this season. Of course, we're going to talk about the big thing that happens in the season that kind of changes the whole outlook of the rest of the show. Kind of like how like I said, if you guys haven't seen season 1, spoiler alert, when Ned Stark gets his head cut off. But let's go ahead and start like beat by beat of how the season progressed. Starting off with one of the big things is that, okay, Theon took over Winterfell. He also gets captured by Ramsay Bolton, and he is tortured. Like, he goes through hell in this season, and it's all for a good reason, because he's an asshole. He's a dick. He's not a very smart character. Like, he does things without thinking. Like, he just does things because he wants to prove his honor for his name, because he wants to be a Greyjoy, but he didn't think things through. Like, this is not what they wanted. They wanted to, be on their own. They didn't want to take over Winterfell. They didn't want to do all this. So he's now, answering for his mistakes. And I thought it was interesting that they made Theon go through this. I ain't gonna lie, when I was watching this, I thought he was gonna die, because they put him through the ringer. Like, he goes through shit in this season. There was a point in the season, or no, part where thought he escaped, but then was another trick. He didn't escape. He got captured by them again. Theon goes through some shit in this show. All right, let's go ahead and talk about Jon Snow. I have to talk about Jon Snow. Jon Snow is my favorite character in the show. He's just so honorable and noble. Even when he gets, he kind of gets separated from the group. the whole group of the wall, at the end of season 2, they leave the wall because they have to figure out what's beyond the wall when it comes to the White Walkers and stuff. And they meet this guy Craster, who has all these wives and daughters and stuff. And it turns out, he has no sons, and Jon Snow and Sam figure out, okay, something is going on with this guy. What's going on with his sons? And they find out that he's given away his sons to the White Walkers so they can stay alive. And that part is very interesting. I love what Jon has to go through. Like I say, he gets separated and he actually runs into some wildlings, and he gets captured by wildlings. And he lives with them, and he actually falls in love with a wildling girl and stuff like that. Like I said, everything that Jon's go through in this season, obviously it's a lot of walking, but you learn that Jon Snow, at the end of the day, he's a crow. At the end of the day, he's not a wildling. Like I said, even though he laid with a wildling girl, he can't go their way. Let's go ahead and bring it back to King's Landing. We have Tyrion. Tyrion is another favorite character of mine, and he goes through a lot in this season as well. Like I said, at the end of season 2, he kind of doesn't get no credit for what he does for the Battle of Blackwater. He kind of rallies up the troops, and they don't give him no credit for that. And he's basically shitted on throughout this entire season. He is shitted on. Not really, because he actually becomes Master of Coin, and but just because he's Master of Coin doesn't mean that they really care about him, regardless of his name being Tyrion Lannister. His dad still shits on him. His siblings still shit on him. And he has this girl, Shay, that at the end of the day he can't really protect, because obviously she's a whore. And Tyrion goes through a lot in this season as well. He ends up marrying Sansa, and like I said, I just hate the way Tyrion is treated, especially by Joffrey. Oh my God, Joffrey is such a nitwit, oh my God, you just want to strangle him every time he talks on screen. I really do not like Joffrey as a character, but I guess that's the point. You're not supposed to like him. He's supposed to be a irritating character. You're supposed to want him to die in this show. And shout out to everyone. I'm not even talking about the performances. Shout out to all the performances. I think everyone is stellar. Besides, I think the actress who plays Shay is not that good. But I think everyone else does a phenomenal job in this show. Like, for real. They are really selling everything that they're saying. You really believe that, what everybody is going through. You believe it. You feel it as well. They really bring the emotion and everything like that. Shout out to all the direction as well. I love the way, each area has a different color palette, and I love it. King's Landing looked like a nice, orangey summer vibe. The Night's Watch, Castle Black just looks like a cold, terrible place to be in. And I love that they, use different color palettes for that. Then you got Daenerys doing everything that she's doing. Oh my God, she is out here. For one, her dragons are actually becoming a thing. They really are. They are a threat, and she is out here just conquering cities, freeing slaves. Just doing all this stuff, and you really want to root for her, and hopefully she doesn't go off the deep end. And it's just, you just know, she is the one. She is the one that you want to follow, because she doesn't care about ruling. She just want to make the world a better place. To an extent. We'll get to that in later seasons. But I loved everything with Daenerys. I think Emilia Clarke looks amazing. And I think she's really good in the show. I think I was watching somebody, and they were kind of talking about her acting. And I think she's okay. She's okay in this show, for sure. I love all her, all the people that's with her as well. I think everyone does a great job. Before I talk about Robb, let's talk about Jaime and Brienne of Tarth. So Jaime, like I said, he's captured by Robb and Catelyn, and Catelyn Stark said, okay, my daughters are basically prisoners at King's Landing. I'm gonna allow Jaime to be freed. Let Brienne takes Jaime to King's Landing, and maybe they'll free the daughters, which is dumb, because I don't think what was the idea of her plan, because who would have thought they would just release them if they got Jaime? That's kind of stupid. But Jaime and Brienne is basically going in on this long journey to get to King's Landing, and they go through a lot of stuff too. This is basically like kind of a new arc for Jaime. Like I said, when the show first starts, he's an a-hole. He really is. You do not like Jaime. He does despicable things. Obviously, he pushed Bran out the window. He's doing his sister, and throughout this whole arc, he's learning, to fight for people. Like there's a scene where Brienne is fighting a bear, and Jaime actually saves her. And it's kind of, it shows that Jaime does have a heart at the end of the day, regards to all these terrible things that he's done. And he goes through a lot, man. He loses his hand, and it's that right there shows that, yeah, he's not as invincible as he think he is when he lost his hand. And oh my God, that scene was so crazy to watch. But I loved everything with Jaime as well. I think after this season going on, he has become one of my favorite characters. He had to learn how to, live, instead of having his father take up for him. He had to learn how to, stand up for himself. And I loved everything they did with Jaime. And I like Brienne of Tarth as well. I think she's an interesting character. She also played Captain Phasma in Star Wars. She's also in Wednesday. The actress, she's really good in Wednesday as well. But yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to Robb. And oh my God, like I said, Robb is the guy. He's the guy you want to root for. Obviously, Ned Stark, the way the show is kind of want to show you guys that, okay, Ned Stark is the hero. He's the guy you want to follow. And of course, he dies. Spoiler alert, Ned Stark dies. He's played by Sean Bean. Once I seen he was played by Sean Bean, I knew he was going to die. But we knew that Robb was going to be that next person to take up the mantle, to be that guy, to be the hero, the guy that you followed. You root for Robb, Team Robb all the way. But he started making some decisions that kind of made him look like, okay, you're the king of the North, but are you a good king? I know you're a good leader and a good fighter, but do you make really good decisions, to keep moving forward? And he doesn't make a good decision. So in season 1, he goes to Walder Frey, played by David Bradley, who was amazing in this show. He goes to David Bradley and says, okay, we need to cross your bridge, but what do we need to do? He said, okay, we have to make an oath. You have to marry one of my daughters. He says, okay, I will marry one of your daughters. But as Robb Stark is on the road, he meets this lady, this medic, and he ends up falling in love with her and marrying her. Right then and there, he kind of fucked himself in the ass. Sorry for the language, but he kind of did. So we're going to talk about one of the most craziest scenes I've ever seen on television. And yes, of course, that is the Red Wedding, the Rains of Castamere. And this episode 9, is freaking insane. So like I said, Robb thinks everything okay. He said, okay, we need to, talk to Walder Frey to get his soldiers, see if they'll fight with us to go against King's Landing and Tywin's army. He's like, okay, let's go ahead and go to the twins and talk to Walder Frey. Walder Frey put up a whole front like, okay, we're good. And the only way we can do this, we have to have your uncle marry one of my daughters, and we can, put all this stuff behind us. And of course, they do all the wedding, and everything is okay, fine and dandy. And one little drop of music, and Catelyn Stark noticed something is not right. And he noticed that one of the Bolton, the head of the Bolton family, is wearing some armor, and she notices that all hell is about to break loose. And it starts off with one of the Freys stabbing Robb's wife in the gut right before we find out that she's pregnant. And oh my God, this scene is so brutal, so graphic, you guys. Like, they're stabbing her 10 times in the gut. And Robb is just so in shock that it happened that he gets shot with arrows, and it's just a bloodbath. Oh my God, you guys. When I mean it's a bloodbath, It is a bloodbath. I mean, everyone getting stabbed left and right. The dire wolf doesn't even make it out. They shoot it with like 5 or 6 arrows. You know, everyone is getting stabbed left and right, and Walder Frey is just sitting there smiling the whole time. Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. You didn't even know. I got you right underneath the rug, and it's messed up. It is. It's really messed up. Shout out to all the actors in this scene, especially the actress who played Catelyn Stark. She is fantastic in this scene. The look of dread on her face when she finds out what's going on. The look on her face when, you know, she sees Robb just on the ground, just shot with arrows. You know, the performance she gives when she's telling Robb to leave, get out of here. And it's fantastic. It really is fantastic and horrible at the same time, because the performances are amazing. The music, the lighting, just the way it's shot. It's so dark and so messed up. And it's fantastic. It's fantastic. And after this episode, I truly fell in love with this show, because what this show does, which I love with every single season, that what happens is episode 9 feels like a season finale. It feels like it's a season finale, but no, it's not. Episode 9 gives you everything that's so heart-wrenching, but then you have to go to the next episode and think about everything that just happened in the last episode, which is kind of distracting, because it's like all that stuff just happened, and then the next episode is kind of like a epilogue. Like, you have to just sit there and just prosper everything that you just went through. And that's the one thing I love about this show, and I don't think any show can master it the way this show does. And it's fantastic. It's utterly fantastic, you guys. Overall, I really did like this season. I do agree with some people say that it does feel like it's dragged out a lot. Like, the Bran stuff is really dragged out. Some of the Jon Snow stuff is dragged out as well when he's with the wildlings. I'm not really interested in a lot of that stuff. You know, I think some of my favorite moments is with Arya and the Hound. I loved all those scenes. I think those two as a pairing is hilarious, because she can really test the Hound, because she really doesn't care. All the Robb stuff, obviously, like I said, the Reigns of Castamere is probably the best episode of the show, the best episode of the whole entire season. Definitely one of the best episodes of the entire series for sure. And yeah, it's after that episode, it's like, wow, all bets are off. Who knows who to root for at this point? You know, because I'm at this point, when I was watching it for the first time, I was like, damn, I don't know who to root for now. Like, the character I was rooting for was Robb. And of course, he was making dumb decisions, but it's like, damn, who can I root for now? Like, who do I root for? It's insane. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe for more. If you guys have watched Game of Thrones, let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section below. Is Season 3, Episode 9 your favorite episode? Let me know in the comment section below as well. I will be coming back with my review of Season 4. Be ready for that as well. I'm gonna try to crank out some of these reviews. Like I said, I'm gonna bring more Blu-ray Hunt videos, more physical media reviews, more watch-along, trailer reaction reviews, all that type of stuff will be coming in the future. I hope you guys are ready for that as well. And I'm on this one, you guys. Peace out.